Good day, friends. I hope you're doing really well. And I want to thank you all so much for the positive feedback on last week's video. So I took a little family vacation last week and posted some videos from the past that people seem to find support and benefit in. So thank you so much for people who gave me comments about that, yep, they're classic. They still work. And so I appreciate that. If you didn't see those videos, please look at the first week of May 2023 on the Facebook here, or you can search those videos on YouTube as well. But I appreciate y'all so much for that. And so this week I wanted to kind of keep going full circle a little bit, keep coming back. And we know that recovery is kind of an onion layer kind of business. You know, it's not a program like diet culture. Remember, we talk a lot here about we cannot recover from the mindset that diet culture created, which means if we're always looking for quick fixes, if we're looking to never be uncomfortable, if we're hoping that some person can magically give us some kind of hack or bypass to our feelings, if we're kind of still going that direction, like I'm still emotionally eating, somebody make it stop, or I know what I need to do, I wish somebody would just tell me what to do, that will get really frustrating for you. So in this video, we're going to talk a lot about really assessing what the true, quote unquote problem is. And almost 100% of the time, the problem isn't the food or the behavior. It is just the symptom of it's basically a defense strategy. And it's what we learned over time that gets us some relief from our too much or not enough, our big feelings, our wounds, our rejections, our hurts, our desire to belong, and we don't really know how to do it besides restricting, binging, over-exercising, competing, comparing, envy with other people's bodies, worry about our health. It's like that's all that our culture has taught us, is those strategies to deal with uncertainty and the desire to belong. So today, I want to just prompt, I guess, some examples of where you're feeling like I'm feeling really overwhelmed with this process of either intuitive eating, or I'm just actually starting to fully see I'm kind of out of some of the, maybe I've needed to protect myself from the truth for a really long time, but I'm starting to see the truth is like, I do have an eating disorder. I don't weigh 80 pounds and I have an eating disorder, and now what? And, sometimes the very basic stuff is like, if we want to be normative eaters, we need to put some plans into action to do that, which would mean like eating every 3 to 4 hours. And that's not intuitive eating. That is essentially like I'm doing some mechanical eating so that I build a new neural pathway of getting nourishment. And we have to get nourished to be able to feel grounded, to mentally be able to think through some of the traumas and the defensive strategies we might have that cause the eating issues in the first place, or the body image issues in the first place. So today is really about assessing what the issue is. So let me give you some examples. Oftentimes I get emails of, I don't know, I feel like I'm crawling out of my skin now that I started recovery, and what is going on here? I thought I would feel better when I stopped dieting. And that's actually not always the truth, because the reality is that all disordered eating, all chronic dieting, all binge eating has some element of restriction to it. So where were you deprived? Were you deprived in care? And maybe that's from the beginning of your existence. Or were you deprived of not getting your needs met in some kind of way, or literally the food needs, or rejected because of your body, or left out, or whatever? There's restriction and deprivation there. So we want to look at the root of like, what was missing? Well, no care to help me through that time. Believing in the lies that something's wrong with me, and that's why I got rejected from the peer group, or just rejected in general in some kind of way. You want to be able to look at like, where did this start? Where did the lies start? And oh gosh, I was 12, and I just thought that, if I that's happened to me, but at least if I can try to get a smaller body, at least I could show them, or maybe I could be okay. Or you really want to look at this, because that is the root of all the other thoughts and behaviors and the emotions that are connected to those things. It's not just in like, if I have a perfect meal plan, I'll always feel better. Or even if I do intuitive eating, I'm going to feel better. The reality of this process is it's not really a feel better process. It's a freedom and a peace process. Okay. And so we want to get to the root of like, what was too much or not enough? And how can I supply the nourishment to those things? How can I have compassion for even the decisions and the behaviors I did to survive, that I don't have to continue now because I have other support, I have other strategies. There's other things that might be able to help me. All right. So this video is really a prompt to get people to like, so if I know that dieting doesn't work, or any kind of like anxiety about my health, healthy eating, emotional eating, binge eating, I know these things don't work. And I know it's deeper than just like, if I had the right plan or the right body, if I got to lose weight, I would be better. Every single person watching this video has been there, where there's like, there was this fantasy that if something were different, if I was different somehow, my personality, my body, then that bad thing wouldn't have happened to me. We all know that there's fantasy with that. And so what we want to do is be able to assess what really happened. What did I try to do to get my needs met? How did it not work? How is it still not working? And what does that need? Okay. And then, add some truth. Okay, so what is the truth about how nutrition works? If you don't know that, work with somebody like me that actually knows the biochemistry of things and can just put the simple truth to it. Where is it that we need help? Being kinder to ourselves when we're just so used to all the rejection and the worry and the pain that we don't really even know what self-compassion is, or how it feels, or how to do it. Maybe there are some places where like, I know I need to do, but I can't slow down to let myself have it. And I can't slow down because I'm so afraid of the bad thing happening again. And so I don't slow down to protect myself. Where is it that like, unless I know what my needs are, I just take whatever I can get, and it's not true satisfaction? Where is it that I look for it? I'd even overreach for things that aren't good for me, not so much like in a nutrient kind of way, but just like, I'm so used to some of those certain feelings that I haven't had enough experiences of being satisfied. So I need help practicing being satisfied and that being okay and not a threat. We want to look at I want you to be assessing the places where it's like, oh, I don't think I know how to do that. I think I need some more support with that. What would help me with that? And that's where you start. So mechanical eating works and not dieting works. And another example would be like, hey, if I'm really struggling with like most of my intake is in the first or the second half of the day, there's no hack to fix that besides eating more the first half of the day. There's nothing it's almost like trying to go to bed. And let's say you want to get up earlier, but you keep trying to make yourself go to bed earlier. And that helps, but you're laying there like staring at the ceiling. Sometimes the only thing you really can do to reset that is to get up earlier, even though it's painful the first couple times. But that will reset. It's the same thing with like second half of the day eating. Oftentimes we're eating more that's comfortable the second half of the day because the first half of our day is restrictive. And there's nothing to fix that except to provide the exact right thing, which was eat more in the first half of the day, even though something in your brain's like, oh my goodness, you're still going to eat more later anyway. That's not true, because the actual problem is the second half of the day eating. And that's actually not the problem. That's the symptom of the real problem, is like I'm not giving myself the nourishment, whether it's with play, connection, slowing down, enough food to not have that predictable thing happen the second half of the day. So let's assess the problem from actually the root, not from the surface symptom. Okay, so if you're emotionally eating right now and it's distressing you, and we all know that there's nothing wrong with emotional eating. All human beings do it. But if it feels like the only thing that you know how to do to not be overwhelmed by your internal environment, we need to figure out like, okay, So what's happening in our internal environment that's giving us all this symptomology, right? So I want to encourage you with that today, and I would love for y'all to put in the comments below if you feel comfortable. What are some of the root cause things? But really get clear about, like, is this rejection? Is this fear of the future? Is this what other people think? Like, really get clear about it, because there are ways to navigate that, which we're going to talk more about in the next video. All right, so I'm going to give some specific examples. For today, though, you've got to assess, like, okay, what's the symptom? And if I didn't have this symptom, or if this symptom could talk, what would it say it is trying to give us a message about? That's all this video is about for you today. So I encourage you to take action. These videos really aren't meant to be like, stop dieting because dieting is dumb videos. Those don't help us take action. I want us to really get pen and paper out and do the work. So that way you are able to see that you are capable. Sometimes we just need somebody to help us rudder our boat, and that's what these videos are for. That's what our services are for. And we want to see people have the freedom and peace that they really want to have. All right. Well, thank you all so much, and I will see you next video. Bye for now.